right, let's talk about something that doesn't get enough credit: older women and the magnetic effect they have when they truly step into their power. You see, there's a misconception floating around that as women get older, they lose their edge. But let me tell you something that every confident man knows: older women who embrace who they are without apology are irresistible. Not arrogance, confidence. A woman who walks into a room like she deserves to be there, like she doesn't need approval from anyone, that's powerful. That kind of energy draws men in without her saying a word. She doesn't play games. She doesn't say yes when she means no. And guess what? That makes her even more attractive. Because a woman who respects herself teaches others to respect her too. Whether it's in life, in love, or in the bedroom, she's not afraid to speak up. She's not looking for someone to complete her. She's looking for someone who adds to her already full life. That's rare, and it's magnetic. While younger women may still be figuring out how to balance confidence with compassion, she's mastered the art of being present. When she listens, you feel heard. That kind of tension, it's addictive. She doesn't fake it. She's not worried about being a ladylike every second. She's real, and when she laughs, really laughs, it lights up the room. Men notice, and they want to be the reason behind that laughter. Not for trends, not for validation, not for Instagram. She knows what flatters her, and she wears it like armor. Style isn't about age, it's about authenticity. And when she walks in with that look that says, "They know who I am," it's game over. She doesn't fill every gap in conversation, because silence makes people uncomfortable. She's comfortable in herself. That calm presence makes men want to lean in, because it feels safe and real and rare. There's no desperation in her vibe. She's not looking to be picked. She's doing the picking, and nothing flips a man's attraction switch like realizing he's being chosen by someone who could have anyone, a purpose, a hobby, a cause, something that lights her up. Because passion is sexy, it means she's alive. And a woman who's alive with purpose is someone every man wants to orbit. Strength is attractive, yes, but vulnerability? That's where the connection happens. When an older woman shares her heart without pretending, without performance, it hits different, it lands deeper, because it's coming from someone who's lived, who's learned, who knows the value of honesty. You know what's incredibly attractive? A woman who doesn't shrink herself to make others comfortable. She walks into a room, and she doesn't need to be the loudest person there. She's not trying to prove anything. But there's something about her, you can feel it before she even speaks. It's the way she carries herself, the way she holds eye contact just a second longer, the calm certainty in her presence. That's confidence. And it's magnetic. Not the kind that comes from trying to look perfect or have it all figured out. It's deeper than that. It comes from knowing who she is, from surviving heartbreak, bouncing back from failure, learning the hard lessons, and still choosing to show up with grace. That kind of confidence can't be faked. It's earned. And here's the secret. She's not confident because everything in her life is perfect. She's confident because she knows her worth even when things aren't. That's what drives men crazy, not because she's intimidating, but because she's inspiring. She's the kind of woman who challenges a man to rise, not because she demands it, but because just being around her makes him want to. She doesn't chase validation. She doesn't fish for compliments. She doesn't need someone else to tell her she's beautiful to believe it. She already knows it. Not just in how she looks, but in how she thinks, how she treats people, how she handles herself under pressure. That kind of self-assurance is rare. It's the difference between someone who hopes they're enough and someone who knows they are. And here's the kicker. She's not confident in spite of her age. She's confident because of it. Every year has added to her, not taken away. Every wrinkle, every scar, every lesson. It's all part of the story she wears proudly. That's the kind of woman who turns heads, not just because of how she looks, but because of how she makes people feel when they're around her. Like they're standing next to someone who knows exactly who she is and doesn't apologize for any of it. And that's unforgettable. There's something deeply attractive about a woman who knows where the line is and isn't afraid to hold it. She doesn't scream it. She doesn't have to. It's just understood. She has this quiet strength about her, and it's not about controlling other people. It's about respecting herself. She's the kind of woman who can say a no without explaining herself for 10 minutes afterward. Not because she's cold, not because she's selfish, but because she's spent enough of her life saying a yes when she didn't want to, and she's done with betraying herself to keep the peace. And the thing is, men feel that clarity, that certainty. It's rare. When she says what she's okay with and what she's not, there's no drama, no games. It's not a test. She means what she says, and you know where you stand with her. But here's the key difference. She doesn't set boundaries from a place of fear or punishment. She does it from love, love for herself, love for the relationship. She's protecting her energy, her time, her peace, not because she's guarded, but because she knows how valuable she is. That's not a wall, it's a filter, and only the right kind of energy gets through. She doesn't let people walk all over her, and she doesn't walk over others either. She's not interested in power struggles or trying to be the boss. She's interested in mutual respect. And when a man sees that, when he sees a woman who respects herself so deeply that she won't settle for less than she deserves, that changes everything. Because here's what most people don't realize. Boundaries don't push the right person away. They bring the right person closer. A real man wants a woman who values herself. He's drawn to the clarity, the honesty, the challenge of it. It shows she has standards. And when she invites someone into her world, it means something. She doesn't do guilt anymore. Not for saying no, not for taking space, not for putting herself first sometimes, because she's learned that the people who love you won't punish you for having needs. And anyone who tries to make her feel bad for drawing a line, they're not meant to be in her life anyway. That kind of self-protection isn't selfish, it's self-respect. And when a woman owns that without apology, it doesn't just earn admiration, it commands it. There's something undeniably sexy about a woman who's clear about what she wants, not just in a relationship, but in life. She doesn't second-guess herself, and she doesn't sit around waiting for someone else to decide what happens next. She already has a vision. She's already in motion. And that energy, it's powerful. It makes people pay attention. She doesn't drop hints. She communicates. She doesn't play coy and hope someone reads her mind. She knows that clarity is kind, and not just to others, to herself. She's not here to waste time in situations that don't align with who she is or where she's going. And this is the part most people miss. It's not about being aggressive or controlling. It's not about saying, it's my way or the highway. It's about self-awareness. She's done the work. She's asked herself the hard questions. She's figured out what matters to her, what feels right, what feels wrong, what she will and won't tolerate. And she's not afraid to walk away from anything that doesn't match that. Men feel this instantly. Because she's not seeking approval, she's seeking alignment. That's a completely different energy. She's not dating out of loneliness. She's not choosing someone just to fill a gap. She's choosing because she's already full. And she wants someone who complements her life, not completes it. And here's the kicker. She's flexible, but she's not lost in compromise. She's open to different perspectives, but she's not going to abandon her values just to keep someone interested. She's not afraid to say, this is what I want. If it's not what you want too, that's okay, but I'm not going to settle. And that right there, that's what makes her unforgettable. Because most people are still figuring it out as they go. They're unsure. They're chasing things they think they want, only to realize they're not satisfied once they get them. But she's clear. Her energy says, and I've done enough trial and error. I'm not here to be convinced. I'm here to connect. That kind of direction, especially from a woman who's lived, learned, and leveled up, doesn't just attract attention, it attracts respect. Because when she chooses someone, they know it's not out of need or fear or pressure. It's because she wants to. And that's what makes it so damn special. There's a difference between hearing someone and really listening. And when a woman does the latter, it's rare, it's disarming. And it pulls a man in a way that most people don't even realize. She's not just waiting for her turn to talk. She's not nodding while mentally rehearsing her next line. She's present. Her attention isn't divided. She's not scrolling through her phone mid-conversation or looking past you to see who else is in the room. When she listens, you feel like you matter. And that's a feeling people don't forget, because most of us go through life surrounded by noise, opinions, distractions, surface-level conversation. But when you sit across from someone who actually hears you, who asks questions because she cares, not because she's trying to check some emotional box, it creates a space where walls come down. That's what she does. She creates that space, not because she's trying to impress anyone, but because she values connection over performance. She's not interested in talking just to fill silence. She listens with her whole presence, her eyes, her body language, her stillness, and it makes you feel safe, seen, and understood. She doesn't interrupt to fix everything. She doesn't rush to give advice unless you ask for it. She understands that sometimes the most powerful thing you can offer someone isn't a solution, it's your attention. And here's what makes it even more beautiful. She listens with curiosity, not judgment. You could say something raw, something you've never told anyone, and instead of reacting or pulling away, she leans in. Not to analyze, but to understand. She's not collecting information to use later, she's simply trying to get you. Men open up to that. Not because they were planning to, but because they can't help it. Because when a man feels truly heard, without pressure, without being corrected, without being made to feel wrong, it unlocks a part of him that usually stays buried. And he won't even realize why he feels more comfortable, more honest, more drawn to her. It's because she's doing something that most people don't. She actually listens. And here's the thing, she listens like that because she's been on the other side. She knows what it feels like to speak and not be heard. She knows what it's like to be dismissed, to be talked over, to feel invisible. So now that she knows her worth, she offers others what she once craved: presence, empathy, depth. That kind of listening doesn't just make you attractive, it makes you unforgettable. And she does it effortlessly because it's not a tactic, it's who she is. There's something magnetic about a woman who laughs like she means it. Not a polite giggle, not that forced "I'm trying to be likable" laugh. No, the kind of laugh that comes from deep in her chest, the kind that's a little louder than expected, maybe even a little unfiltered, and completely real. You can't fake that kind of joy. When she laughs, it's not just about something being funny, it's about her being free. She's not worried about whether she looks ladylike. When she does it, she's not covering her mouth or holding herself back out of fear of being too much. She's not performing for anyone. She's just enjoying herself. And when a man sees that, when he sees her so in the moment that she forgets to be self-conscious, that hits different. It's rare. Because too often people are stuck in their heads, filtering everything they say, calculating how they're coming across. But her, she's not trying to win anyone over. She's just having fun. And that kind of energy is contagious. Because here's the truth, men don't fall for perfection. They fall for aliveness. They fall for a woman who reminds them what it feels like to stop performing, to stop being guarded, to just feel something again. And when she laughs without holding back, it gives them permission to do the same. She doesn't take herself too seriously, and that doesn't mean she's not strong or smart or deep. It means she's human. It means she's grounded enough to find joy in little things. A bad date turns into a funny story. A minor failure becomes something to joke about over drinks. She knows life doesn't always go to plan, so she chooses to meet it with humor instead of resistance. And that laugh, that unfiltered joy, it lingers long after the conversation ends, long after the night is over. Because it's not just about the laugh itself, it's about what it says. It says, I'm alive, I'm present, I'm not holding back, and I don't need permission to enjoy myself. That kind of authenticity is intoxicating, not because it's loud, not because it's flashy, but because it's real. And in a world where so many people are pretending to have it all together, she's the refreshing reminder that the most attractive thing you can be is yourself. There's something undeniably captivating about a woman who dresses like she knows exactly who she is. She's not chasing trends. She's not trying to impress a room full of strangers. She's not wearing something just because someone online said it was a win-in this season. She dresses for herself, for how she feels in what she wears, and you can see it the second she walks in. It's not about the clothes. It's about the energy behind them. She could be in jeans and a t-shirt or a tailored dress and heels. Doesn't matter. What you notice first isn't the outfit. It's the way she owns it, the way she moves, the way she wears that outfit like it was designed just for her. Because she chose it with intention, for comfort, for style, for how it reflects who she is in that moment. And here's the difference. She's not looking for approval. She's not dressing to get a reaction. She's dressing to express herself. And that self-expression, that's what makes her stand out. Because when a woman dresses for herself, you can feel it. There's no insecurity driving her choices, no desperation, just alignment. She wears what makes her feel beautiful, powerful, elegant, edgy, whatever it is that reflects her mood, not the world's expectations. And here's what really drives men crazy. She's not asking anyone to validate it. She's not fishing for compliments. She's not walking into the room hoping someone notices her shoes. She walks in like she knows she's already enough. And the clothes? They're just the wrapping on an already powerful presence. That kind of self-assurance radiates. It shifts the energy in the room, not because she's louder, but because she's clear. Clear on who she is. Clear on what feels right. clear on the fact that she doesn't need to compete with anyone. She just needs to be herself. And the truth is, you can't fake that. You can tell when someone's wearing confidence versus when they're wearing a mask. And she's not interested in playing dress up to be accepted. She's already accepted herself. That's what makes her unforgettable. It's not the outfit, it's the woman in it. The woman who chose it, not because she had to, but because it made her feel like her. And there's nothing more attractive than someone who knows how to honor themselves from the inside out. There's something incredibly powerful about a woman who isn't in a rush to fill every quiet moment with words. She's not uncomfortable in silence. She doesn't panic when there's a pause in conversation. She doesn't feel the need to constantly perform, entertain, or prove she's interesting. She's still. And in that stillness, there's strength. You feel it when you're with her. The way she can sit across from you, look you in the eye, and not feel the urge to fill the space. It's not cold, it's not distant, it's present, it's intentional. She's not waiting for the next line, she's in the moment. And when you're around someone like that, it changes how you show up too. It makes you want to slow down, to match her pace, to breathe. She's not uncomfortable with quiet because she's not uncomfortable with herself. She's not measuring her value by how many jokes she can crack or how clever her stories are. She knows her presence is enough. She knows that real connection isn't built on constant chatter. It's built on being together, being real, being comfortable with just being. Most people rush to fill silence because they're afraid of what it might reveal, afraid that if things go quiet, interest will fade. But she knows the opposite is true. Silence is where you feel someone, where the words stop and the energy speaks, where trust is built, not through noise but through presence. And men pick up on that. Whether they realize it or not, it affects them because most people are used to performance, to pressure. But she offers peace. And that peace, it's addictive. Because in a world full of noise, being with someone who's not afraid of silence feels like exhaling. She's not performing. She's not trying to impress. She's simply being, and that quiet confidence, that inner calm, it draws you in. It makes the space between the words just as meaningful as the words themselves. She knows that silence doesn't mean something's wrong. Sometimes it means everything's right. Sometimes it's the most honest thing two people can share. And when a woman can sit with you in silence, not needing to fill it, not needing to escape it, that's when you realize you're not just talking to her, you're connecting with her. And that kind of connection, that's what makes her unforgettable. There's something incredibly compelling about a woman who doesn't chase. She's not out here proving herself. She's not bending over backwards trying to convince anyone she's worth their time. She's not auditioning. She knows her value, and because of that, she doesn't run after anyone. She chooses them. That shift in energy, it changes everything. She's not swiping, texting, or showing up just to be noticed. She's not chasing potential. She's not drawn to someone just because they're playing hard to get. She doesn't have time for games. She's not trying to win someone. She's looking for alignment, a match, a fit. She understands the difference between chemistry and compatibility, between attraction and availability, between being wanted and being valued. And so when she connects with someone, it's not because she needs attention, it's because she sees something real in them. But if it's not there, if the energy's off or the effort's one-sided, she doesn't cling, she doesn't chase, she lets go. And here's what makes that so attractive. Her interest means something. Because she doesn't hand it out casually. When she chooses you, it's deliberate, it's thoughtful. It's coming from a place of clarity, not desperation. That makes a man sit up straight. That makes him step up. Because he knows she's not the kind of woman who'll just stick around because it's convenient. She's not staying for the potential. She's staying because she sees something true, and she expects that same level of intentionality in return. She's not intimidated by the idea of being alone. She's not afraid of her own company. She actually likes her own company, which is exactly why she's so careful about who she shares it with. Her life is full. Her days are meaningful. She's not looking for someone to complete her. She's looking for someone who can add to what she already has, and she won't settle for less. And this is where most people get it wrong. They think love is about pursuit, that you have to chase to show you care. But the truth is, the most powerful kind of love comes from choice, not pressure, not fear, just a grounded, confident decision to say, I want you, but I don't need you to be whole. I'm good either way. And that energy, that calm certainty, it's what makes her unforgettable. Because she doesn't chase love. She chooses it when it's real, when it's mutual, and when it's worth her time. There's something incredibly attractive about a woman whose eyes light up when she talks about something she loves. It doesn't matter what it is. A business she's building, a cause she believes in, a creative outlet, a skill she's mastering, or some quirky little obsession that makes her her. What matters is that it matters to her. Passion is magnetic. You can feel it. It's not loud or attention-seeking. It's alive. It's that spark that tells you this woman has depth, that there's a fire inside her that isn't waiting for someone else to ignite it. She's already lit the match. She's not sitting around waiting for life to hand her a purpose. She creates her own meaning. And when you hear her talk about it, you don't just hear words. You feel energy. It's that rare kind of enthusiasm that can't be faked, the kind that pulls people in because it's so real. And here's why that drives men crazy. In the best way, it means she's whole. She's not looking to be rescued from boredom. She's not putting pressure on a relationship to be the only exciting thing in her life. She already has things that light her up. That fulfillment doesn't make her harder to love. It makes her easier to respect. She has stories. She has purpose. She has her own world, and she invites you into it, not to revolve around her, but to experience it with her. She doesn't just exist, she lives. And that kind of vitality, that's what makes people want to be close to her. Not because she's trying to impress anyone, but because her energy is infectious. It's the kind of energy that makes you want to grow, to explore, to become more just by being around her. And the truth is, passion doesn't have to be grand. It doesn't have to be some world-changing mission. Sometimes it's just the way she talks about a book she's obsessed with, or the way she lights up when she's in her garden, or the way she loses track of time when she's in her element. It's not about scale, it's about intention. What makes her attractive isn't what she does, it's the way she does it, with heart, with joy, with a kind of purpose that's deeply personal. And when you meet a woman like that, a woman who's already on fire from within, you don't have to guess whether she's living fully. You can feel it, and that feeling, that's unforgettable. There's a unique kind of strength in a woman who isn't afraid to be vulnerable. It's not weakness, it's not insecurity, it's courage, real courage, the kind that allows her to show up as her true self without hiding behind walls or pretending she's got it all figured out. She's not afraid to let her guard down when the moment calls for it. She doesn't feel the need to constantly protect herself with armor or deflect her emotions. She knows that vulnerability is not a flaw, it's a doorway to deeper connection. And when she opens that door, something shifts, not just in her, but in everyone around her. She doesn't see vulnerability as a risk. She sees it as a gift. It's the raw honesty of saying, I'm human. I have fears, I have doubts. I'm not perfect, and that's okay. She's not looking for validation every time she opens up. She's offering her real, unfiltered self, knowing that this is where true intimacy begins. And here's the thing, men find that incredibly attractive because it's rare. Most people are so busy hiding parts of themselves, wearing masks to look stronger or more put together than they feel. But a woman who can sit across from you and say, I'm not okay today, without needing to explain or apologize for it, that's disarming in the best possible way. There's no manipulation, no games, just honesty. And that creates a level of trust that most people never reach. Because when someone is open enough to be vulnerable, they're inviting you into their world, into their heart. It's an unspoken invitation to connect on a deeper level. And it's an invitation not just for others, but for herself too. She doesn't see vulnerability as a sign of weakness. She sees it as a powerful way to connect, to grow, to be seen for real. She knows that letting people in doesn't make her lesser. It makes her whole. It shows that she's strong enough to let her guard down and trust that the people who are meant to be in her life will be there, without judgment, to meet her at her most authentic. And the beauty of it is, when she's vulnerable, she isn't looking for someone to save her. She's simply looking for someone who will accept her as she is, flaws and all. She's not afraid to show her scars because she knows they're part of her story. They've shaped her, made her who she is, and they're nothing to be ashamed of. That willingness to be real, to let go of the need for perfection, to say, "Sis is me, take it or leave it," that is magnetic. It doesn't just invite love, it invites respect. And that's what men really admire, a woman who is confident enough to be vulnerable, knowing that the people who will stay are the ones who see her for everything she is and love her even more for it. That kind of vulnerability, it's rare, it's powerful, and it's unforgettable. So if you're an older woman wondering if your best years are behind you, hear this clearly, they're not. When you do these things not to impress, but because they're who you are, men don't just notice, they can't look away. Because real, radiant, unapologetic femininity, that never goes out of style,